Hi, all. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the XPEL podcast. We're at NADA in Las Vegas, and I'm joined by the recently named Global XPEL Dealer of the Year, WD Co-Auto. From WD Co-Auto, we have Colin Reid, who's the SVP, and we have XPEL's Vice President of North America, Chris Hardy. So we're going to jump right into this, Colin. What is WD Co-Auto?
WD Co-Auto is a buying group for automotive dealers. So we work with 1,100 automotive dealers across Western Canada. We're owned by the dealers. And basically our job is to help them leverage their purchasing power and help them positively improve their bottom line by acting as their buying group.
1,100. That's a big number.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Wow. Chris, how did XPEL and WD Co-Auto start working together?
So we had been working with each other for a little while before I got involved. But then when I took over as the regional sales manager for all of Canada, Colin and I had an opportunity to finally meet each other and hang out. And then we sat down in Scottsdale, Arizona over a couple of days and hashed out ways in which XPEL and WD could be better partners, if you will. And so we are their exclusive supplier for their films and coatings.
Got it. And that was how long ago?
About 5 years
About
ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So that in both of your mind, is that the seminal moment? That's when you started to figure out what we could do together?
I think that was when we really nailed it in as a partnership and not just a vendor-customer kind of relationship.
Yeah, I think that if we're really fair about this, Colin had expressed some frustrations on how he felt as a vendor sort of client relation. And I was very straightforward. I'm like, I only believe in partnerships and nothing less. And he's like, well, that's how I am. And so it was match made in heaven, to be honest with you.
And our tagline is together we're better, right? And that's how we want all of our relationships to be. And I think more than anyone, XPEL has really been that for us, like a partner. It's not a vendor at all. We work together all the time. Our reps are together all the time. We talk all the time. It's a true partnership.
All right. So Chris, what did the two companies offer together? How are we better together? What are we offering dealerships?
So look, like the cool part is that they're in 1,100 dealerships, like he said, and they sell anything and everything from pens to toilet paper to paint to lifts to, they'll even help on the build out of a dealership if it really gets down to it. But for us, of course, we've got this product line, which is window film, paint protection film, and of course, ceramic coatings. And for their dealer, of course, that's a phenomenal product to offer to the customer because it's getting done the minute the car leaves the dealership otherwise. So we went and said, hey, how can we do this collectively? And since they're so dominant in Western Canada already, and of course, I hope you don't mind me admitting this, they are moving further east. We said, hey, tell you what, how about every single dealership in Western Canada, we partner with you on every single one. We figure out how your team can take care of them, how our team can back it up or take care of them as well. Neither side needs to worry about either side going in and talking to them on their own, and just make things happen. And it's been amazing. It's actually been as ideal as I could have expected.
Maybe even more, only because high expectations when we started, and in the end, way better than we ever could have expected.
I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly. So Colin, why is this model? It sounds unique. Why is this good for the dealerships?
Like the model that we do with XPEL?
Yes.
I mean, the industry is changing, right? Service intervals on vehicles are longer. EVs have come to the market. All of that stuff is changing, and the dealer needs to bring more stuff in-house to, make more money off the cars they sell. So by working together with XPEL, we get a whole bunch of stuff. We train the installers that go into the dealer. We work with XPEL's reps and our reps to go in and train F&I on how best to sell it. And it just helps them add more revenue where they need it.
And Chris, it's a unique model for XPEL, obviously, right? This isn't necessarily how XPEL works in other markets. Is that correct?
I would say that we modeled where we were going to other markets off of the WD Co platform. We have some other great partners in the US as well, Drive Group, Automotive Elegance, Blue Zero, Idens, etc. And a lot of it is culminating as this, in that we were like, hey, look, let me show you what we're doing with WD Co-Auto. By being coexistent rather than us just servicing you from a distance and then you being worried about whether or not we're talking to your dealer as well or not, and worried about like whether or not there's going to be account degradation. No, and it's worked amazingly. And to be fair, they've consistently watched what's happening with WD, to so much so that last night we were out at dinner with one of our largest partners, and after dinner he's telling me, I'm going to head up to Canada if you don't mind and go and pay attention to more of what they're doing up there with you guys, because I think we need to learn from that. I'm like, I've been preaching this to you forever, so glad you joined us for dinner.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like, that's so cool to hear from our side, because we have put a ton of work into this together. So it's great to hear that it's a model that's scalable and replicable across the country. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we even go so far as to like train their trainers in the exact XPEL format. That's something that we wouldn't normally do, right? We'd be too afraid of like showing our secret sauce because I mean, not no disrespect to other brands, but consistently we're told we've got the best training bar none across the entire globe. To then go and give up that detail to them and say, hey, let's show you the same thing that we're teaching them is a true partnership for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of trust.
A lot of trust.
Yeah.
And it makes us so much better having that training because honestly, that is the key. If you can't put film on car properly, no one in the dealership is ever going to be happy, right? And so having that training program and working with them, and our trainers are another group that talk all the time. It's makes the customer way more successful.
Yeah. So, Chris, what seems unique here to me, though, is what do the XPEL independent retailers and dealers in Canada, how do they feel about this?
Yeah, they're fine because the reality is that there's a labor force that's needed quite often within the dealership space too. Look, WD can teach the dealership to do it themselves in-house. But our model to the dealership is we can take care of you in any which three ways you choose. One, just sell you the product, which in this case is going through WD supply. Train your team in-house to do it themselves. The second is that you may not have the labor, they'll sell them the part, and then we'll help facilitate the labor through the third-party network. And we've got over 1,000 accounts across Canada that we feel comfortable can participate in that. And then the third is where XPEL has their own labor force, including in Canada, and we partner up with WD, and we just take care of it all from the beginning. So rather than selling the product, we're selling product and labor all installed all at once. And again, all still through a WD collaboration.
It's really cool because it gives the dealer choice, right? Not every dealer is the same. They're independent businesses. They operate the way that they need to operate. So the fact that we can actually give them a way to do it no matter how they run their business is just a win for everyone.
It is an interesting model. It's I like how they have the options. The dealerships have the options, and then they can choose which way to go.
Look, I'll tell you this, most dealerships will choose to do it themselves initially, thinking that this doesn't look that difficult. We collectively will communicate, look, we could train you and we'll do a great job training you. But training is not a week. Training is going to take a week for initial, and then it's going to take maybe upwards of a couple months before you're really proficient in being able to do a bumper on any single vehicle that comes across your line. You want to talk about an easier car or one car that we only train you on, single model, can be done much faster. But to be capable of taking care of anything on the used car lot, new car lot, whatever, that's a different story. So they might have the appetite for that. And we let them know, again, through the partnership, if this doesn't work out, don't worry. We've got a backup. We have the labor side. And then we can, go ahead and bring that in, and then it doesn't fail regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you finding that to be true as far as sometimes they want to try it themselves and then we step in to help?
Oh yeah, and a lot of the times, there's a lot of great dealers who really understand the program, and we train someone, and they know, hey, this person's coming in after a beginner course. They've got to practice a lot. On the other side, you get the guys who are like, well, I just sent you to a week of training. What do you mean you can't do a full car right now, right? So,
I actually had that phone call this morning.
Yeah.
On a Ferrari store of all.
Okay. Yeah, that's tricky.
It's like, wait, sorry, what?
That's tricky.
You thought they were going to install the full car? Oh,
yeah.
shall I send somebody else in
Yeah,
for
Right,
you?
right.
Again, it's just that option, right? And
Yes.
everyone needs that option.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That leads me to something I was going to ask you, Colin, which is, are you finding that, is there a difference between premium dealerships, a Ferrari, a Porsche, versus obviously a Chevy, a Kia, a Hyundai dealership of what they want from you?
I think it's the same no matter what the brand, what they're looking for from us. I think when you get into those high-end luxury brands, they're going to look for either an installer who's super, super experienced, or they're going to be looking for the labor side of it because it's just a different kind of customer. It's a different kind of install. It's just so different. So I think on a base level, they're all kind of looking for the same. It just comes down, I guess everything comes down to the installer in the end. Hey, I think I keep going back to that. So
Yeah, but if you really think about it, and you may not be aware of this as much as I am, but because we service both the US and Canada, Canada has a much higher adoption rate per vehicle delivered, regardless of brand, than the US does. So the hypercars and the exotics and the luxuries have been consistent in the US and Canada for a very long time. But WD Co and a number of our independents in Canada spent a lot of effort in convincing the daily driver, whether it's a Kia, a Honda, a Toyota, to a Mercedes or a BMW, You're just as proud about your new vehicle. It is going to get damaged. Let us mitigate that from the beginning, and let's help your resale value. I mean, as you know, there was a recent article that came out with XPEL involved where we were able to prove from the dealer body group, yeah, we will pay more for a car that has the film on it that stopped all that impact from happening to it. So, what's awesome is watching Canada continue that a higher adoption rate, but now it's bleeding into the US.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's cool too because I mean, if you think about someone in an F&I office, right, and they're selling you a warranty or a piece of paper, you go in with film and it's like, I can show you how this is going to protect your car. I can show you that it doesn't scratch. I can show you that I can put a pen through it and it's actual physical protection that they can see. And I think from a consumer side, that's what they're looking for, right? More so than a piece of paper, saying that they'll fix something when they can.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just led me right where I wanted to go, which is you talked about potentially, or maybe Chris mentioned it, expanding eastward a little more. That you're pretty, you work a lot in Western Canada. Do you have different challenges? Do customers have different challenges? Do dealers have different challenges as you move east?
I think it doesn't matter if we're moving east or west. Like every province in Canada is pretty different. Alberta is the market for paint protection film. BC is starting to catch up. Saskatchewan's starting to catch up. So I don't think it matters where you go. And I'm pretty sure it's the same down here if you compare Texas to California. Like they're just different little markets in one country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, of course, in Western Canada, there's maybe more dirt roads, or the weather plays a role in.
I mean, Vancouver is Seattle,
Yeah.
effectively, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's a big market for us going forward too, is to get the protection going there. Because they still have problems, but it's not the same. I live in Calgary. It's not the same as in Calgary where they put gravel all down the roads, and you're driving down in the winter. It's just ping, 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 right?
Yeah, but you know what was weird? Like, look, I moved to the US from Western Canada, right? And I was in the interior where, you needed, they don't call it gravel. I'm trying to remember the term that they use for the stuff that they lay down on the ground, but it's up to 3/4 inch.
Oof.
Because otherwise it gets windswept off the ground. And so it's got to be thick and heavy in order to stay there. So imagine 3/4 inch gravel or aggregate or whatever they're calling it coming at the car at 60 miles an hour, 100 kilometers. Trouble. When I moved to the US, I moved originally to South Carolina. And I was like, wow, like I bet your paint protection film doesn't even sell down here because why would you need it? You don't have winter conditions. You're not laying stuff down. And I remember walking around. I was initially in a condo building that we were renting in. And so there was quite a few vehicles. I walked around the lot looking at the bumpers and couldn't believe how much insane road rash they had. And it was worse, I feel, than what I saw in Canada. So it's like, they must all be like Northerners. They're just here visiting,
Yep,
right? Like they
yep.
must be from New York or something.
Yep.
No, they're all South Carolina plates.
Okay.
And then so I was driving around, I started realizing, well, wait a second. What's happening is it's all the stuff at the side of the road. So the side of the road, no matter what kind of road it is, you've got gravel at the edge. And what's happening is people are driving towards the edge, maybe paying attention to their phone, like me. I can probably admit that on camera.
We'll edit that out.
Take that out. And I'm sure I'm drifting over and I'm pulling the stuff on. And then it's making contact with the bumper. And it's crazy. Like I was like, South Carolina is worse than British Columbia?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
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 You get that in downtown areas too, right? Because it's not the gravel on the road or whatever, it's construction though. And how many times are you driving down where there's a truck hauling away dirt that's just flicking it out the back, right? And so same problems happen everywhere. It's just really obvious when it's cold.
Yeah, and in Canada, they actually wash the roads.
Okay.
Street cleaners.
Yep.
I don't know that I ever saw one in South Carolina, so maybe that's the other problem.
That could be it. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, PPF protects against more than road debris, right? So
Oh, absolutely.
whether it's bird droppings, acid rain, whatever else, right?
All that, and you can even see some really cool stories. And of course, I don't want to go on the record and say this happens every time, but I've had people send me videos where like they backed up to like the bullets that are in the ground, those concrete posts, and the film is completely yellow from backing up against it. Maybe the bumper's even been pushed in a bit, and then they drove off and the bumper popped back out. But they're like, oh, like for sure I'm in for a repaint. And then they'll take it to the shop, pull the film off, and you'll still see the fresh paint, and it's perfect. Now, again, I don't want to say that happens always.
Sure.
May have happened to me once or
Just
twice.
once or twice. Colin is not supposedly the best driver, clearly.
Is that true, Colin?
I'm pretty good.
Okay. So, Chris, why was WD Co-Auto named XPEL's Global Dealer of the Year?
Yeah, that was exciting. So look, this year, Mike Mejia, the gentleman in charge of our marketing, came up with a great concept, which was let's do some global awards. And I was really impressed with this because we've recognized countries for a long time, provinces, states. And then, if you receive a higher award with an XPEL, we don't promote you to a lower award as well, because then you might have a dominant player at the top, like WD, that would take half the awards with them for Canada. So in order to spread the wealth, right, we're making sure. But what we've never done is said, well, where does that compare on a global scale? And like, nobody really knew. Like, to be clear, nobody, like, I'm not personally involved in Chris West in Asia, right? And he's not involved in North America, so I wouldn't know where the comparison is. So they brought out 6 awards in total, and the most prestigious is the Global Dealer of the Year, and it was based on total purchases, and the account had to be exclusive, right? We have that as a requirement. And I didn't know what the final answer was, because I can't see global numbers. And so when I found out probably about 5 minutes before it happened, obviously it was elated for them, but that means they are our largest customer in the world.
Yeah. How did that feel when your name was announced?
It was pretty cool. It was an honor as well, right? I mean, Canada is not huge. Like, population-wise, we're not massive. So, like, to know that we're doing the most in the world is absolutely, it's cool and absolutely crazy.
Yes.
And it'll just be more next year.
And think about where it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I don't even know if it would have been in the top 10 in North America.
So that meeting in Scottsdale paid off.
Huge
Yeah. And we brought, look, let me be fair. It wasn't just Colin and I. We brought in key components of his team, key components of our team, and then we've done that collectively fairly often. So we get together almost like a retreat, branch into ideas with each other, and then, take it from there.
Yeah.
We did that last week. We had a bunch of people come to our facility in Calgary and spend a bunch of time doing stuff with XPEL. So it was great. It's always great. It's fun to have the two teams together.
So last question, Colin, what's next for WD Co-Auto? Whether that's with XPEL or something else that you have going on that you're excited about?
I mean, for us, we implemented delivery route sales reps in Edmonton and Calgary about a year ago. So I'm really looking forward to that expanding, because it's just another way for us to help support our customers. And honestly, a big part of why we did it is the relationship with XPEL, because we want to make sure that we are touching those customers as much as humanly possible. So we're doing that for all of our customers in Calgary and Edmonton, and hoping to expand that to other cities. So that's
Delivery, like somebody will pick up their car delivery or something?
No. So when we deliver XPEL product or plotters or anything, we do it out of our own trucks, out of our own van, and come in and service those customers, make sure everything's working, make sure their inventory is good, make sure their installers and managers are happy on a regular basis. So
yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Chris, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
No, well, I'll touch on that real quick. I'm really excited to see the fruition of that as well, because to have that weekly touch point without the requirement of the account coming to you is really game changing. They're talking about driving around in vans literally all day long, every day, and coming into the dealership and going, hey, I noticed you're low on this, you're low on that, and then restocking, refilling on the spot, checking on the plotter, how's everything going? That kind of service, that does not exist anywhere.
No, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, congratulations on the big win, Colin. That's very cool. I heard you say it's going to be even bigger next year.
I think so, yep.
So Chris is happy.
That I know. I'm counting on it.
Yeah, right.
And thank you both for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah.